everybody. Happy Friday afternoon. I'm so excited to be here with you. We have kicked off a big old workshop this week called Fundraising Breakthrough. And today I'm coming to you live from the world headquarters of Get Fully Funded to talk about 5 fundraising myths and why you need to know about them so that you can avoid them. This is a micro lesson as part of our Fundraising Breakthrough workshop, and I wanted to give you the chance to ask questions. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to walk through these 5 fundraising myths, and then if you have a question, just go ahead and type it in. We've got a couple different ways we're keeping up with questions. I've got a tablet here, we've got some phones, and I'll be doing my best to answer those questions for you. So while you're thinking about that and while people are still gathering on in here, let me give you the overview of Fundraising Breakthrough. I can't stand to see small nonprofits struggle because it's just not necessary. I remember when I had the responsibility of fundraising placed squarely on my shoulders for the very first time, and I didn't have any idea what I was doing, and I didn't have a lot of support, and I had to just figure it out and make it up as I went. I did, but it took a long time, and there were a lot of sleepless nights, and there were a lot of spaghetti on the wall moments when I was just trying everything, trying to get something to stick. And I don't want that for you. I want to shorten your learning curve and get you to the good stuff faster. And that's what the Fundraising Breakthrough Workshop is all about. So if you're not part of that workshop, you can go on over to getfullyfunded.com/breakthrough, sign up, and we'll email you the link so you can go watch the first video. So there's 4 videos in this workshop. The first one went live yesterday afternoon, and already people are loving the videos. We have actually over 1,000 people who are engaged or enrolled in this workshop, and we're very excited about that, and people are loving the videos already. So if you're not already signed up, getfullyfunded.com/breakthrough, and you can catch the first video anytime you want to, and the second one will go live Monday. In between, I'm going to be doing Facebook Live. I'm going to be right here on the Get Fully Funded page to do these little micro lessons to give you something else really helpful that we weren't able to fit into the videos. All right, so that brings me to today's lesson. And today's lesson is all about fundraising myths. You see on the board, we have 5 fundraising myths that I want to make sure that you know about because you can't avoid them or fix them if you aren't aware of them. So we're going to start by just raising your awareness that there are a lot of myths out there, and if you buy into these myths, it's going to be a huge problem. You're going to stumble and you're going to have problems, and this is not going to be any fun. So I want to walk you through the 5 most common myths that are getting in the way for new, young, and small nonprofits to be able to raise more money and grow their organization. So that's what we're doing today. All right, are you ready? Do you have a pen? You ready to take some notes? Because I'm going to show you. Myth number 1, we're a 501c3. You see, a lot of people think that folks will give because your organization is a nonprofit, and it's just not true. Now, maybe in 1950, 1960, there were people in the community who would give to local charity because that was the right thing to do. And simply because your organization was a nonprofit, they would give. That is not the case today. Think about it for a minute. Why do you give? Do you give to another organization because they say, hey, we're a 501c3? No. You give because they're doing something that matters to you. They're doing something that touches your heart. And you have to do the same thing. So you cannot buy into this myth that, oh, people will give because our organization is a 501c3. It just doesn't work that way. Okay, so you got that? You have to, instead of saying, we're a 501c3, you have to say, here's what we're doing that matters. Here's how we're changing lives. Here's how we're changing problems and solving problems in the community. So don't talk about your tax status, talk about your impact, because that is what really matters. Being a 501c3 only means that you're not in it for the money. You're not going to be lining somebody's pockets. You don't have shareholders who've invested money and get dividends at the end of the year. Okay? So that's myth number 1. We're a 501c3. All right, you ready? Myth number 2. Oh dear, I lost part of the word. Let me write that in there for you. Grants. Some people think, oh, we'll just go get grants. It'll be easy. Okay, let's just clear this up right now. Grants are not easy to get. Can an organization go get grants? Yes. Are they easy? No. And if your organization is brand new, this is not a strategy, because most foundations want to see at least 3 years of experience and data from your organization before they're going to be willing to invest in what you're doing, invest in your programs. And if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. If you're a foundation and you have money to give away, don't you want to bet on a sure thing? Don't you want to make sure that the organization you're giving money to has a track record and they can prove that they know what they're doing? Yeah. So if your organization is brand new, you're not going to fully fund it with grants. We get calls here all the time of people who say, I have a brand new nonprofit, I just need to know how to get grants. And we say, I'm really sorry, that is not low-hanging fruit for you right now. You know what is low-hanging fruit? Building a donor base, and that's actually what we talked about in yesterday's video. So if you're part of the Fundraising Breakthrough Workshop, go watch video number 1 where we talk about building your donor base and how to identify your ideal donor prospect. That is how you not only start to raise money, but you build that donor base so that you have sustainability long term. That's really what matters, okay? So don't try to go after grants. That is a myth that you're going to be able to fund your organization right off the bat from grants. Just don't do it. All right, let's go to myth number 3, and that is, oops, I'm missing part of it still. Sorry about that. Number 3, GoFundMe. A lot of people think, oh, we'll just do a crowdfunding campaign for our new, young, or small nonprofit. We'll go to GoFundMe. We'll go to pick one. It doesn't matter. And people will come find us and they'll give us money. No, it does not work that way. You can use crowdfunding. Yes, I'm personally not a big fan of using crowdfunding for startup funding because you're going to be waiting a really long time. Here's the deal. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I feel like giving some money away. Where's the laptop? I'm going to go find GoFundMe. I'm going to find somebody to give money to. People don't do that. If you set up a crowdfunding campaign, you still have to drive people to that site so that they can see what you're doing and make a donation. Crowdfunding is not a build it and they will come activity. It does not work that way. You still have to know people that you can invite to give. You still have to go out and give people a reason to go to that site. And by the way, if you're going to go find people and drive them somewhere, you may as well drive them to your website and not to GoFundMe. If they go to your website, then they're giving through your online giving mechanism. You have their name and information. You can make sure they get thanked well. And you need to be doing all that anyway. So using GoFundMe as a startup, not great. If you're in the ramp-up phase or if you're just a small nonprofit trying to raise money, GoFundMe is, I wouldn't do it. I think there are other ways that you can raise money and be way more successful without that. I've had lots of organizations who have called here and said, hey, we're trying to do this crowdfunding, or they find me at a conference and say, yeah, we tried that, it didn't really work. I'm never surprised when they say it didn't really work. Because it's a myth that you can just go post something on GoFundMe and get all the money that you need. It doesn't work that way. All right, so far we have, in our myths, we have we're a 501c3. You're not going to get money just because you have that tax status. We're going to go find grants. That's another myth. GoFundMe, the crowdfunding is going to work for us. Let's look at myth number 4. These are all pulling my letters off. Number 4 is what I call a shoestring. Nonprofits are supposed to operate on a shoestring budget. And listen, that's just not true. You don't have to struggle with money just because your organization is a nonprofit. This may be the most dangerous myth on this board, because if you buy into this, if you believe that your organization is supposed to struggle, that you're supposed to beg, that you're supposed to only have hand-me-down furniture, second-hand office supplies, you're not supposed to have a new printer or a new camera or a new whatever, if that's what you think, you're setting yourself up for some really serious long-term struggle. You will always be like the little orphan Oliver, please can I have some more? And that's not how you want this to be. You want people to give to your organization because they see the great work you're doing. It's perfectly okay for you to have a new printer or a new laptop or a new camera or whatever other equipment you need. It's perfectly okay. You don't have to struggle. Why do some organizations struggle? Because they've bought into all of this and they're trying to raise money from little fundraisers. So their money's coming in these little dribs and drabs, and it's just not enough. Actually, I'm going to talk about that in another micro lesson. But we got to get away from that for now. Okay, so you don't have to operate on a shoestring budget just because your organization is nonprofit. Let that one go. It's okay. You don't have to struggle. It's okay for you to raise all the money that you need. I've done it. I've had clients who've done it. I have clients who were up 25% this year over last year. And listen, it's so much more fun to operate that way when you have all you need. All right, our last myth today is, quote, rich people. Some folks think, okay, we need to build a donor base. We'll just go target all the rich people in town. Now, I don't know about your town, but in my area, there are some real specific zip codes and some real specific neighborhoods that the houses are much nicer and more expensive than others, right? A lot of towns have those. And some folks think, well, we'll just target everybody in Sequoia Hills. We'll just go after everybody in Avalon. We'll just go after everybody in fill-in-the-blank neighborhood or fill-in-the-blank zip code, and those people will give. Okay, listen. Just because people have money doesn't mean that they give it away. Not everybody gives to charity. And just because they have money doesn't mean they're going to give it to you. So targeting people because of their household income or because of how much money you think they have, not a great idea. Instead of targeting rich people, you want to target the right people. And this is exactly what we addressed in yesterday's video in the Fundraising Breakthrough Workshop. We talked about how to build your donor base by getting really clear about who you're looking for. When you find those ideal prospects, they're going to want to give and give big bucks to your organization. It's so much easier when you're talking to the right people because their heart is going to already be on fire for the work your organization is doing. You don't have to sell them into anything. You don't have to try to convince them that, hey, you need to part with some of your money because you got a lot of money. No. Hey, you know that story of the goose and the golden egg? Yeah, if you get all focused on the golden egg and neglect that goose is going to leave, and you're not going to get any more golden eggs. It's the same thing in fundraising. You got to value the goose more than the golden egg. When you start focusing on the golden egg and you're all about the money, you're all about how much money we can raise, how much money I think that person has or whatever, this is no good. You're going to be setting yourself up for some fairly significant disappointment because those people are not going to give to you, or if they do, they're only going to give once because they're going to know you don't really value them, you only wanted their money. All right, so there we go. There's 5 common fundraising myths. Number 1 is we're a 501c3. People are not going to give just because you have that tax status. You have to give them a reason to care. Number 2, we're going to fund our organization with grants. No, you're not. Grants are great, and everybody should go after and do some research to find out what grants are a good fit. Go after them, but you're not going to fully fund your organization, nor do you want to. You don't want those foundations giving you money year after year. You're better off to build the donor base. GoFundMe, crowdfunding, you're not going to fully fund your organization. You're not even going to get it off the ground with crowdfunding. Shoestring, you do not have to struggle. It's okay for you to raise all the money that you need. And the last one is rich people. You don't want to go after just rich people. All right, so there's your micro lesson in 5 common fundraising myths. All right, so let's see. Let me check real quick for questions. All right, perfect, you guys. All right, so if you're watching and you have a question, go ahead and type it in now. If it can be a question about these fundraising myths, it can be a question about video 1 in the workshop, just whatever's going on in your mind. Or if you just want to type in and say hello, that's cool too. All right, so while you're thinking about questions, let me tell you again, if you're not already registered for Fundraising Breakthrough, it's really easy. Go to getfullyfunded.com/breakthrough, and we'll send you an email getting you all, making sure you're confirmed, you're registered, you're official. And then Monday, video number 2 is going to go live. So in video number 2, we're going to talk about messaging. So once you have the right people around you, you're not buying into any of these myths, what do you say to the right people to inspire them to give? And that's what we're going to talk about in video 2. Then I've got more great lessons coming all week next week. So it's almost like it's just a big, it's a big fun time. It's a big fundraising palooza here for new, young, and small nonprofits. All right, so it looks like we don't have any questions. You are welcome, if you do have a question later, you're welcome to type that in. I'm going to be cruising back through the Facebook page, and if you do have a question, type it in there. I'll be happy to answer it later. If you liked this, hit the thumbs up. Let me know that this was helpful for you. I would really enjoy that. Or if you learned something good from this little micro lesson, drop me a comment in and just let me know what your big takeaway was. That'll be super helpful. And if you want to tell other people about what we're doing here with the Fundraising Breakthrough Workshop, please do. You can send them to getfullyfunded.com/breakthrough so they can sign up themselves, get all the notifications about the upcoming videos and more of these micro lessons. They're happening all week next week. All right. All right, perfect. Amy says, quick thanks. Good, Amy, thank you for being here. I hope this was helpful for you. All right, you guys, I don't see any more questions, so that's it. It's a 20-minute micro lesson today. I hope this is super helpful for you, and I hope to see you next Monday in video number 2 of Fundraising Breakthrough Workshop. Have a great day. Bye.